Hello everyone, League is a very hot and complex game with over 150 champions in the time this video is recorded. In this video, we will take a look at the top 5 best and easiest supports for new players. Champions in this list will have a simple and straightforward kit and gameplay, making them ideal for new players to learn the role and focus on developing their support skills instead of trying to navigate their kits and executing fancy combos. Every single one of these champions is great not only for getting better, but also for climbing and are meta resistant for low elo. Without further ado, let's get started. At number 5 there is Sona. Sona is an excellent choice for beginner supports in League of Legends due to her straightforward mechanics and versatile playstyle. One of her key strengths is her ability to provide consistent poke damage and sustain for her AD carry. Additionally, Sona's ultimate, Crescendo, can be game changer in teamfights, allowing her to stun multiple enemies and set up kills for her team. Another reason why beginners may want to choose Sona is her relatively simple playstyle. She is able to fulfill a variety of roles within a team, whether it be poking in lane, providing sustain for her AD carry, or initiating fights with her ultimate. However, it's important to note that Sona can be somewhat vulnerable to enemy engage and crown control, due to her squishiness and lack of mobility. As a beginner playing Sona, it is important to focus on positioning correctly in teamfights and using their abilities to their fullest potential. With the right strategy and execution, Sona can be a valuable asset to any team and a great choice for beginner supports. Next, in number 4, there is Leona. Leona is a great pick for beginner supports who want to play a tankier champion that can initiate fights for their team. Her crown control abilities such as Zenith Blade, her E, and Solar Flare, her R, can lock down enemies and set up kills for her team. Additionally, Leona's passive Sunlight can add extra damage to her allies' attacks, making her a strong choice for aggressive players. One of the benefits of playing Leona is her relatively straightforward kit. Her tankiness allows her to absorb a lot of damage in teamfights, which can be forgiving for players who are still learning to position themselves, though it's important to keep in mind that Leona is heavily reliant on her abilities to be effective, and can struggle against teams with high mobility or disengage abilities. As a beginner playing Leona, it's important to be mindful of your positioning and communicate with your team to ensure that you are able to lock down the right targets at the right time. Overall, Leona can be a great choice for beginner supports who want to play a champion that can initiate fights and provide a strong front line for the team. Right after Leona, there is Zyra. Zyra is a fantastic pick for players who enjoy playing champions that deal a lot of damage. Her kit revolves around her ability to plant seeds that grow into deadly plants, which can deal damage and crown control the enemies. One of her key strengths is her ability to zone enemies out of areas using her plants and her ultimate ability, Stranglehold, which can knock up and damage enemies in a large area. And of course, as every pick in this list, Zyra is versatile. While she can deal a lot of damage with her plant, she can also provide utility for her team with her grasping roots, which can root enemies in place, and her passive ability, which causes her to spawn additional seeds when she is not casting spells. Additionally, Zyra can be played in multiple roles, such as mid lane or even as a carry in the bottom lane, in case you are getting autofilled. That being said, Zyra is a relatively squishy champion and can be vulnerable when getting caught out of position. It is important to be mindful of your positioning and to communicate with your team to ensure that you are able to make the most of your plant zoning and crown control abilities. If you want to deal a lot of damage and provide utility for your team at the same time, then maybe Zyra is a pick for you. Before entering the final 2 choices, I would like to ask you if you enjoyed this video so far to leave a like and check the other videos I've made for the other roles if you want to get some more ideas in case support is not your main role. Now, getting back to the video, the last 2 choices are not necessarily in power order, Instead, I've made sure to give one tank support and one enchanter, depending on what type of playstyle you prefer. For a more tank support, I recommend Nautilus. Nautilus is a top pick for beginner supports who want to play a champion with strong ground control and engage potential. His kit is designed to hook and pull enemies towards him, making it easy for his team to follow up and secure kills. His ultimate ability, Depth Charge, can knock up enemies and deal a significant amount of damage, making him a threat in teamfights. One of the strengths of playing Nautilus is his ability to build for his team. His ground control abilities, such as Dredge Line and Riptide, can help him protect his carries and prevent enemies from getting too close. Furthermore, Nautilus is a pretty tanky champion, which can be forgiving for players just like Leona, who are still learning to position themselves correctly. At this point, it's important to note that Nautilus can be mana hungry, especially in the early game. As a beginner playing Nautilus, it's important to manage your mana carefully and not waste your abilities. A lot of times, not using your hook can create more pressure than using it and missing it. If you want to play a support with one of the strongest engages and ground controls, then Nautilus is probably the pick for you. Lastly, we will finish this video with my favorite enchanter and support in general, which is no other but Soraka. Soraka is the best healer champion in the game. Her kit is designed to keep her allies alive and healthy, even in the midst of fights. Her ultimate ability, Whiz, can instantly heal all allies on the map, making it a valuable tool for turning the tide of battles. One of Soraka's key strengths is her ability to sustain her team with her Astral Infusion, which can heal allies and restore their health at the cost of her own health. This ability, combined with her Rejuvenation passive and Star Call, can make her a formidable force in lane, giving to her AD carry crazy amounts of sustain. Her kit is pretty simple. The main idea behind Soraka, Hit Your Q, which lets you use your W ability without a health cost in the later stages of the game, and with a pretty small one in the early laning phase. Not being able to hit your Q would mean that you are not able to heal enough your allies without needing to recall yourself. As with every enchanter, Soraka is pretty squishy, and you should see yourself more of as a utility carry, being in the backline of the teamfights and trying to be as safe as possible, as you dying could mean the instant loss of a teamfight. Remember, becoming a great support player takes time and practice, but by choosing a champion that fits your style and learning the ins and outs of the kit, you can become so much better. I personally recommend you to try every single one of these champions and see who fits you better. But most importantly, keep having fun, learning and improving your skills. Good luck and have fun on the Rift.